So, Rovshan, thank you so much for lending your time and talents to, again, the Brownsville community, the community at large who just love your concerts, and the students who really benefit from your expertise and your ability to demonstrate the key elements of becoming a musician, especially on the guitar, the instrument that we love. Who were some of the most important influences in your journey as a guitarist and musician?
Well, I began with, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very glad to be here again after 10 years. Actually, I just checked today's morning. I was playing here March 28, 2014.
Wow.
So almost exactly 10 years ago. And now it's a very special feeling after years coming back. In my journey, I started when I was 11. I started playing guitar and started to touch guitar. And first lessons was singing and strumming lessons. So I was studying to sing songs in a general school. And after 3 months of doing this, I went to music school. In Russia, we have music schools. Public music schools, and I was happy enough to go to the class of my professor who was my teacher for the rest of my life. I was studying with him in music school, then in music college, then in conservatory, I did my postgraduate. So just one teacher. His name is Alexei Petropavlovsky. And of course, a lot of influences from my parents, because my parents was always supporting me with, doing competitions, just improving, practicing, because music is, it's not easy, as all we know, and you just need to understand that there's a lot of time you need to spend with your guitar, and even sometimes without guitar, just thinking about music, it needs concentration. And if your parents don't understand what you are doing, it's becoming more difficult for you. So my parents was very good and still supporting me. So I think that's important part also.
It sounds like a very typical circumstance for guitarists. There's so many guitarists all over the world that begin playing the guitar in the very beginning as accompaniment to singing, strumming, learning some chords, playing some of your favorite music, whether it's modern or traditional, and then that kind of supportive network too, where some people see that you enjoy something and they have a feeling or faith in your interest and focus when they see that, and provide that framework for your success. And obviously, you've been incredibly successful in your career. Of course, many years ago, winning the Guitar Foundation of America competition.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, I was not so. I couldn't say that I liked really this singing and strumming. I think I was a little bit. I had the feeling that it's not my thing. But when I started to play classical, so just without singing, I feel that that's my thing. And at that time was no internet, and I kind of believed what my teacher was saying. Every word was, like 100% believing. I couldn't check, search in YouTube or something like if he's wrong or right. So, and that's my story. Yeah.
So that idea of being in that environment where you have that focused coaching, you don't have the distraction of looking up, oh, well, he or she said this, and then you begin to check about that topic or that
like today's students.
Thing.
I'm now teaching, of course, and today's student, sometimes you say something to them, and next lesson they come and saying, I checked on internet. You are not right because some famous guitarist, let's say David Russell or Manuel Barreika, saying opposite things. And I'm saying, okay, go and study with him. Why are you coming to me?
Yeah. Well, that can create doubt in the student's mind. When we are not experienced and trying to walk that pathway and to get to some point that we imagine ourselves as musicians, if we're distracted all the time, it's hard to focus ourselves in that direction. And we try too many different things at every point. And sometimes we have to reason that, well, it's not wrong, it's just different, and it could work.
And in music, it's always, nothing right or wrong things. It's just, you believe, that means you are right. So, it's not black and white. It's always, different colors.
What styles did you gravitate to when you first started playing classical?
Well, I think, of course, I began with classical, Karuli, Karkasi, this kind of things. And some taraga, I don't know, miniatures, and so this kind of music. But always my teacher was asking me to think about music like to put some imagination. So even if you play, I don't know, Andantino by Karkasi, so you play about something. And actually, I grew up with this feeling, and I thought that everyone is like this. But nowadays, more I teach and more I give in masterclass, I understand that not everyone is like this, and this is kind of a special attitude with the music I had in my beginning.
Especially in the beginning, to have that as a center of the coaching, to tell a story. To have something in mind that you're expressing.
The music.
It gives a framework that fuels the performance, fuels the learning process. You're always making decisions related to the story. And it's kind of liberating and focusing at the same time when you have a story behind what you are creating. And especially when we're young, we tend to want to play fast because there's a gymnastic kind of accomplishment there, right?
I also was like this, nothing special. So I wanted always to play like Paco de Lucia or something like this, scales, and practiced a lot.
I think you're there.
No, I think it's not possible. I'm always not there.
But certainly that's a part of virtuosity, is having that capacity. And having that in reserve and not using it all the time makes it even more special when you have the need to be expressive in your story and you play something just so fast. It becomes a musical gesture rather than just a gymnastic accomplishment. Is there repertoire now that you do that surprises you, that you didn't know that you would gravitate to, or you still have a sense of these different styles?
Yeah, of course I do. Actually, this season I'm doing a lot of chamber music with program with cello, big project with bayan. We played the Goldberg variations, great cycle by Bach. Great, actually, one of the greatest ever written music. And we
Could
played
you describe bayan? Is like
bayan
an accordion?
is button accordion.
Okay.
Say. So here accordion with so here's like a keyboard, but bayan is buttons here. And I also played with mandolin. So a lot of this kind of searching and just discovering new music and with new instruments. With another musicians, you kind of also develop your understanding of the music. Because, for example, for bayan, they think more about, it's difficult to explain, but they think more about like pianists. So bass, lines, all the voices is just, big mechanical process. For example, cello, they think very good about phrasing, about shaping the phrase. we as a guitarist also work on this, but I think they just have better options to make it clear, the phrase, the briefing, and I'm absorbing all these things from different players. So that's inspires me. And
oh, that's a great opportunity then to have the chance to play with people that have a different perspective, and as you're saying in the bayan, the kind of structural and large textural thinking of the music while you're playing will inform your playing, and that focused melodic playing. When you have such a clear focus, you can do so much more, and your repertoire to deal with that becomes obviously more extensive. What repertoire did you play with mandolin? Do you recall?
With mandolin, we played. Actually, the original was a piece by Raffaele Callace, the Italian mandolinist. So it's originally for mandolin and guitar. But other repertoire was transcriptions. We played the suite by De Falla, the Spanish suite. We played the Sonata Concertata by Niccolo Paganini. It's originally for violin and guitar. And some pieces like Aria by Villalobos. We played also dances by Enrique Granados. So this kind of set of pieces. And she played one solo piece. I played also a little bit of solo. So this kind of program. Yeah. But I think it went very, very nice. And for the public, mandolin is very virtuoso and very much, to make public stand up and clapping. And guitar is more like just thinking, beautiful, and all these harmonies. Also nice, but different. So some public came to listen to the mandolin, and some public came to listen to guitar. And with combination of these two instruments, we had a good success actually. Yeah. I hope it will be possible also to play not only in Russia or in some other countries with. Her name is Yekaterina Mochalova, and she's quite a big star in Russia now.
Well, I'm sure their mandolin is very popular in the U.S., especially in bluegrass music. Just generally speaking, anytime there are new combinations of instruments, you do bring in both types of audiences, like you say, mandolin audience and the guitar audience. And the discovery, when that happens, it's really great. And I'm sure that you could find audiences that would be very appreciative of that combination as well.
Yes.
I mean,
sometimes
it's rare.
People very often say to me, "Oh, I never thought that it's possible on the guitar to play not only songs or not only simple accompaniments." So it's always happening. And in these concerts, when people come in to listen to mandolin, so they discover guitar. If they come to listen to guitar, they discover mandolin. So it's good exchange of musical ideas and musical things.
Yeah, discovery by its very nature is a fun thing. Yeah. So what are you looking forward to after your Brownsville concert? Where are you heading?
Well, I'm going to Athens to also give master classes and play in concert. Then I'm going to
Athens, Georgia?
Athens, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not Athens in Europe.
You could stop at Paris, Texas on your way.
Yeah. It's quite funny here. But Athens, Georgia, and then I'm going to LA, California, for 2 concerts there and also master classes. And then I'm going back to Moscow.
Oh, okay. And how do you find traveling now at this point in your career? Is it something that feels comfortable for you? Do you manage it so that you have kind of set tour lengths and go home? Or does it vary?
It's of course different. And of course you are tired after traveling. But I think I like it. And especially, I remember the time of pandemic when everything was canceled and I sit at home. I think it was the longest time I was staying at home without any travels. So I don't remember how many months. And at the beginning, I was thinking, oh, I have so much time. I will study new repertoire. I will, I don't know, spend nice time with family. But after 2 or 3 weeks, it was a little bit depressive. And I just started to think, oh, I should travel somewhere because all years before I was traveling every 2 weeks at least.
And all of a sudden you were in a different environment.
Yeah, and now I'm back to this schedule, and I think it gives me not only tired. I'm not only tired after travels, but I'm inspired. For example, talking with you, meeting new people, and just exchange of emotions.
Right.
This gives you a lot of energy.
Oh, and it's much more interesting than learning how to do sourdough bread. During the pandemic, everybody had sourdough starter kits and compared their starters and that sort of thing. I mean, it's not a great conversation piece. This is much more uplifting, obviously, and interesting. What advice would you have for students who are becoming serious in their study? Are there a couple of things that you would recommend that they do in terms of how they pursue their studies? Some things that you see as a master teacher at this point that you frequently encounter, whether they're young or old veterans in university. Are there some things that you see that are patterns that you would direct them otherwise?
Well, it comes to my mind because we were just talking. First of all, believe to your teacher 100%. If you're studying with somebody, just do what your teacher is saying without doubts. If you decide, just change teacher and go another teacher direction. So that's important, I think. Another thing is just to have this kind of belief and kind of passion with what you are doing, because sometimes we started to do things like, okay, everybody's doing exercises, I also will do exercises, but actually I don't like, and I feel that it's not necessary. So that's important thing to understand, that everything what you are doing with a passion gives you much more result than if you're doing just routine things.
So it's kind of like your discussion of having the story, having your imagination should be behind everything.
For example, imagination, for example, telling the story, but also, this kind of things like to play faster, it's also exciting and also some kind of passion behind of it. So maybe this also could be good for development. Yeah, these kind of things.
So it always seems to come back to having a personal focus, creating imagination, and having that be the source of just about everything that you do, no matter what the style, no matter what your point is in your development or your journey in this art. That seems to be the most effective thing. It certainly worked well for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for loaning yourself again to us. It's a great opportunity for us, and we wish you all the best in your next concerts. And we hope to have you back again as soon as we can. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this BSPA video. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you like what you see. And if you really like what you see, go ahead and go to our website, brosoperformingarts.org and smash the donate button, and then we'll really like you too.